Welcome back to the Padilla family homestead. It has been a few months since I have been here. We are going to plant some seeds, and I'm going to tell you some of the stuff that I'm growing and kind of fill you in on what's been going on. So first things first, let's get this dirt going. If you are new, my name is Jennifer Padilla, and this is the Padilla family homestead. Currently, we are living in the city of Rogers. So if you hear a bunch of noises, that's why I live in the city. So I have a bowl with some water, warm water in it, that I am putting this dirt in. And this is potting soil mix. If you're in the Rogers area, I'm using the potting soil right now from Westwood Gardens. I use the Magnificent 7 blend now for my containers, and that's over at Rockwell Nursery off of Hudson. I had to think of the name of it. I always think of Hudson Nursery, but it's Rockwell Nursery off of Hudson. Is the dirt I'm using now for containers. It's a big, you have to buy a big chunk of it, and you can use it for beds or containers or whatever. So we want our dirt pretty moist here. Since I'm doing peppers and tomatoes, I'm also doing warm water, not hot water, warm water, because that'll help with the temperature of the seeds. But I want to be able to squeeze this together and have it hold, but not be like super soppy. All right, so we have our dirt ready, and now I'm filthy. And I just got out of the shower. I should have done this backwards. I should have done this the other way, but I have work this afternoon. So I can wash my hands easier than wash my hair. I have paper to make my grid so I know what's going where in this. I'm not using my normal bootstrap farmer trays this time. I did not get them cleaned after last season, and I'm not in a place to clean them right this second. So I'm already behind on these by like a month and a half starting these seeds, so I need to get them started now. It's not really an option. Otherwise, I lose out on being able to grow these varieties. So I went to Walmart last night and I spent $6.87 or $6.97 a tray. They're very flimsy. These are probably going to be one season, but they're going to do the trick for right now, which is what I need. So I'm going to take this dirt and fill in these pockets. There's 72 little seed spots per one of these trays. I got 3 of these because I'm starting a bunch of seeds this week. I'm only going to start peppers, tomatoes, and hopefully eggplants. It depends on how long this takes me to do. But I want to make sure today that we get this done, because these are the things that take the longest to germinate. And then I am going to start on the rest of it. Okay. One section's done. All right, so that is what I have right now that I'm going to start dirt-wise. So really fast, I want to talk about kind of where I have been. So November was super crazy. You guys know that. I had a wedding that I was helping with at the beginning of November. We just had, with Thanksgiving, we had tons of stuff going on. In November, I was trying to switch over to 1 video a week, but I was seriously getting burnt out in all areas of life. Then in December, I ended up getting really sick. So I was sick in November as well. I got sick at the wedding actually, and then I got sick again in December, but it was like ridiculously sick. I was down for 2 weeks, and it was like soul sucking. I was already having a hard time emotionally because it was my first Christmas without my daughter, and there was some other stuff that was going on at the same time with some friendships and stuff. And so I got really sick. I was already struggling with my daughter, and then this other stuff compounded on top of it. I got really bad, and I ended up getting super depressed, and my husband was amazing through it. This is the most off I have been through our entire marriage. And we have been married almost 9 years. So this was a big one for me. It was just a really rough December. So I was not in any place to put out videos. Normally I do tea time with Jen, and we get into some big topics and stuff, and we're talking about living with intention. And at that point, I really couldn't do any of that. My husband was helping keep up with the kitchen stuff. I was work and at home if I wasn't sick in bed. Then January came around, and I was starting to get my head, it was getting better. I was getting unfoggy, but now I'm just was catching up. February just zoomed. I don't even know what happened. Still was in catch-up zone. Here we are in March, and I'm doing so much better, and allergies are crazy, but other than that, like mentally I'm good. I'm getting caught up on things. I'm back socializing out and doing stuff. I'm still working, and I am super excited about the garden. So that is what we are going to focus on, and I'm not going to promise you a set number of videos per week or per month right now. Since I'm getting back on my feet with stuff, I need to make sure that I do this successfully. And so I am gonna show up where I can, do what I can, and as soon as I can give you guys a set schedule that I know that I'm gonna be able to provide you that content, that's what I'm gonna do. Now I have tons of seed starting videos. Okay, maybe not tons. I have a few seed starting videos. I love starting my own seeds, and you're about to find out why. Now I leave for work in probably about 40 minutes. So I need to get this done and get dressed. So we are going to zoom along. I get my seeds. We're going to talk about this. I get my seeds from Baker Creek, so rareseeds.com. I get their whole seed catalog every year. I love this because I can go through and learn so much about peppers, and this is why I end up falling in love with certain peppers and wanting to try them. So for example, a new one that I'm really excited about starting. Let's see if I can find it really fast. These Azure peppers are ones that I'm really excited to try this year. They grow into 2-foot stocky plants, are covered in 6 to 7 inch broadly wedged pods. These are normally grilled, and they are then grilled, peeled, and ground into traditional relish called Azure, which is eaten and spread on bread, often with, I'm not going to be able to say it, a local cheese similar to feta. Nearly every rural household in, let's see, where these are from, in the villages of, oh, I'm not going to be able to say it again, it's North Macedonians area. So they put these up, they make this, and then they make this relish and put it up for winter. And one of the things that it talked about these peppers was how they, when you grill them, like they smell delicious, and people come from all over the place because they know what's being grilled, and they're super excited about them. So I can't find this pepper out in a store. The history behind it, there's like so many peppers throughout here that you can learn about, and where these seeds came from and how they're taken care of. So this is where I get my seeds for the most part. I do have a few that I also get from MI Gardener. I went through and did my garden planning on Seed Time, which I'll make sure I put a link to that in the description. Also put a link to the seed company in my description. But I went through and I planned out my garden where I'm going to plant everything, and I'm doing everything completely different this year. And so I am doing primarily green stalks. I'm still doing the tubs, but I'm doing primarily green stalks. I had bought 4 more when they did those color closeouts at the end of last year. So I'm going to have a total of 7 green stalks. So I'm going to have a pepper stalk. And so I am starting tons of peppers that I'm super excited to play with and eat. But this, I was able to print my task list from the seed time after I plugged it all in on the layout and where things were going to go. And it tells me how many of each plant that I need to start. And I'm going to go ahead and put a couple of seeds in each one of these so I have a better opportunity. I'm contemplating doubling my plants from what I need, and then selling or giving away some of the extras because these are just unique plants. But we'll see. I have to make that decision here very quickly. So we have peppers, tomatoes, and eggplants. These should have been started 8 to 12 weeks before the last frost, and last frost is coming up here very, very quickly. And it is what it is. I'm not going to get anything if I don't start them at all. So this is what we are doing. So I have Azure, and this one, you plant your seeds twice as deep as they are wide. That's the normal rule of thumb. That will change a little bit depending on some of them like need to be surface sowed, but a lot of those are really small seeds. So I'm going to go ahead and put those in. I'm going to put 3 in one cell and I can separate them later. I forgot to do my other step, which I need to do. I'm going to bring this over and use it as a table. So I'm going to make a grid. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to go, this is my box here that I'm going to do this in. Creating a big box, and I'm going to start with, it's going to make it 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, ooh, that's really close, 12. So now I have my 12 rows going down and across, and I'm going to do my other rows. So it's 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's my grid. I'm going to know what's in here, and it's going to help me be able to tell what's going on. And so I'm going to do Azure. Habaneras are one of my favorite peppers. They are a sweet habanero. There's no heat to them. And I want 2 plants of this. So I'm going to do 2 cells. And I'm going to do 2 seeds in each one. And that will go well with this. Habanada times 2. These they look just like a habanero, but they really are super sweet and delicious. They're fruity once they're orange. They're not fruity if they're not orange. It's definitely one of those peppers that is worth waiting until it is thoroughly ripe before you decide to eat it. They're very thin-walled and delicious. Okay, so this is a sweet bonnet. It's supposed to have, it's going to have a little bit of spice, but it's more mild than a jalapeno. So I'm excited about this one. So I'll share which ones are new and which ones are tried and true. That Javarski is obviously new. Sweet Bonnet is new. The Habanada is not new. I have grown that for years. Pippin's Golden Honey. I have tried to grow this. I think I had it in California. I did. I bought these in 22, but I think I had issues the last couple of years. And that I tried to grow it, and then I don't remember trying to grow this last year. I'm only going to do one of my mini bell mix. These are very tiny little bell peppers. I don't need tiny ones all that much. I get to use a lot of these peppers that I'm growing like a bell pepper, so I don't really have a whole lot of need for a ton of these. Now sometimes I want some of them, so I'm planting one plant, and that's really for the cut of it, the look of it, because I want to be able to grow. I want different colors. I like texture and stuff. I'm excited to see to cook with this stuff and to do some fun culinary stuff. That's like making me super excited in the garden right now, is what I want to cook with this stuff and how excited I am to try it. I'm going to do one lilac bell. I love purple, and lilac bells look really pretty. I may not ever let them get to purple, and I might. It just depends. But I actually don't have a lot of luck with bell peppers. I have more luck with other types of peppers than bell peppers. So I'm trying a few of them and seeing which one is my best one. Okay, the Dos de España, or Spanish Mammoth. This pepper is like a bell, but it is 6 to 7 inches long. So it is a very big bell. And this one's going in the second hole here. Then we're going to do a Golden Wonder. It's just a yellow bell pepper. Again, I'm only doing one of these. So the reason why I'm deciding to do the GreenStalk tower, I am seriously putting all my eggs in one basket with this GreenStalk tower. So wish me luck. Last year, I wasn't sure how things were going to grow out here. I had some peppers in a round container that I put 4 or 5 peppers in, and then I also put 4 peppers in the ground in a bed that we had, and then I had 1 pepper that was a habanero, which we ended up really not eating any of because they're now too hot for my husband. He's lost his super spice. So the interesting thing, that habanero was in a GreenStalk. So the interesting thing is the one in the ground did very poor. The ones in the ground, I barely got any peppers off of. And I think there's a few reasons for that. But the ones in the round container did pretty well. Peppers like to touch shoulders. They like to be close, but not too close. So they did pretty well in the container. But the one in the GreenStalk was stupid productive. Like, I got the most peppers off of that, and we didn't eat them. So that was kind of sad. This is the jalapeno pepper. I have grown the jalapeno pepper. I love the jalapeno pepper. It is a jalapeno with no heat. So I use this all the time, just in anything. So I think part of the reasoning that that it did so well in the containers instead of in the ground was the amount of water. We get tons of rain and we had a lot of storms and stuff, and so at times it had too much and other times it was too dry. And the containers, it's easier for me to water consistently. The actual soil was lighter and fluffier and probably easier for it to get through versus the rocky soil of the ground. So all of those things take into consideration. I did put fish fertilizer on all of it, but there was definitely a nutrients difference as well. So I am trying a GreenStalk that has every other pocket planted with peppers. I'm probably going to plant something small in between. We'll see. It's going to be something that can be blocked out from light, because it's going to be blocked out from light. So I'm going to figure out how that goes, and I'll bring you guys along with me. So this is shishito. I love shishitos. They're a little bit spicy. These blistered Roots and Refuge talked about blistering these and serving them with an aioli. And let me tell you, delicious. So I always grow 2 shishitos, because if one doesn't work, if I only grow one and one doesn't work, I'm going to be horribly sad. So I make sure that I grow 2, and each one of these slots has at least 2 seeds in it. That way if one fails, I'm still should be covered, and if I have an extra one, I can separate it. Corbachi, I have grown these in California. I have not been able to find them anywhere else. I did not get these. These died last year, so it wasn't one of the ones I was able to start from seed by myself. I am going ahead and starting these. These are a long, skinny, great snacking pepper. This is one of those I've been debating if I want 1 or 2 plants of, but I have all these other peppers that I should be able to snack on. So I don't want to plant too much and have stuff go to waste. This isn't good for a lot of other things. I mean, you can saute them and add them to stuff, but they're a very thin-walled, great snacking pepper. Okay, so banana peppers, I am gonna do 2 plantings of sweet banana peppers. These are just a basic pepper. They're used for all kinds of things. These are actually good pickled. Okay, so aji cachucha is a famous Caribbean and Latin American pepper, also known as aji dulce. It is very mild, much less hot than a jalapeno, with sweet flesh. It has addictive flavor, essential for sofrito beans, soup, and fresh snacking. So I'm excited to try this. Again, this is all about flavors when you're cooking. So that is why we are trying these. My husband has a Mexican descent. We have a friend who has Cuban descent, and we want to, his wife and I want to try to make some fun things. And so trying some peppers that you can't just buy in the store here, I think would be a good way to get some good flavor into a lot of stuff. So this pepper I'm growing for my husband. It's another aji. This is aji mango. Now this is hotter. It's like a hot serrano or a lemon drop pepper. It has 25,000 Scoville. It says mango sweetness with nice searing heat. So this one I'm hoping that is not too hot for my husband. My husband loves mangoes, like loves mangoes, but they're high in sugar. And so getting sweetness in ways, this could make a good hot sauce, who knows? So we'll figure it out and play with it. So I'm doing one of those. It's new. A lot of these peppers are new. So we're gonna do red Marconi. I'm only doing 1 of these. Let's see, Marconi. Arroz con pollo. I've tried to grow this before. This was one of those that I had an issue. I waited to grow this for a long time, and then I had an issue that year with starts, and this one did not make it. This is supposed to get pretty big, but arroz con pollo is chicken and rice, and this is supposed to be a good seasoning pepper. And so I have wanted to try this pepper for a while, and I'm hoping this is my year. Sweet Moruga is another brand new one. It is smoky sweet flavor of the famous super hot pepper without the insane burn. It's a nearly heatless version, delivers only a small fraction of that burning sensation, and has an unexpected sweet flavor. They're golf ball sized red pods. This pepper gets about 4 feet tall. So it'll be interesting in the GreenStalk. This GreenStalk's going to branch out and be silly all over the place, and I am totally down with that. Sweet Moruga. There's a lot of peppers, guys. Next is a tried and true. I have grown this multiple times now. I have not gotten the peppers super big with this one, but this is poblano. And I love chili rellenos. I haven't really made a chili relleno at home, but I will take poblanos and kind of roast them a little bit, and then put them in a casserole dish, stuff them with some goat cheese, add some shredded vegetables like carrots and things like that around it, and then pour egg over it, and make a delicious casserole. And you just cut around the pepper, and you get this pepper and veggie, and it's super good. So that is my last pepper that I am starting. I'm excited. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, that's 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 pockets on GreenStalks will have peppers in them. That is incredible. I am super stoked about this. Okay, so now I need to get into tomatoes. So tomatoes, what we're gonna do this year, I almost think I'm growing too many tomatoes, but I did have some disease problems last year, and so I am changing a few things up, and I'm going to plant them a little bit differently to try to help with some airflow. We are going to try from M.I. Gardener the Money Maker tomato. I am hoping that it says it loves hot, humid weather, grows well in greenhouses, and it looks like they pump out a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and try this one, if I can get seeds out, and see how this one goes. This is brand new to me. I've tasted this tomato, I believe, because I've gotten it at farmers markets, but I haven't grown it. The other one that I'm going to grow for the first time that I have not done before is the Mexico midget tomato. It's just a red cherry, and I am hoping that it does well with this weather out here. We will soon find out, but a very productive red cherry is always fun. I love putting cherry tomatoes on my focaccia bread and in salads and in everything else. So I'm excited to try that. Okay, so the next one I have is the big rainbow tomato. I decided not to do the, I really wanted the Dr. Witchy's tomato, but I struggled with it last year. I've struggled with it in years past. This year I'm doing something different, and I'm going to do the big rainbow. This one happens to be from M.I. Gardener, but they sell this in multiple places. So I'm gonna go ahead and try this one as my yellow tomato. I love yellow tomatoes. I prefer to eat yellow tomatoes on a lot of things, but I don't know why I have an issue. I've been having an issue with the Dr. Witchy, so I'm just switching over right now. The next tomato that I'm going to start is the Paul Robeson tomato. I actually really like this tomato. I've grown this tomato in California, and I really liked it. It just has fun flavor. It's supposed to have smoky flavor, but I really like it. Next up, this is our last regular sized tomato. This is the Arkansas Traveler tomato. I got quite a few tomatoes off the Arkansas Traveler last year. It was one that, I think that was a plant that I started. I don't remember if that's one I bought or I started, because I had seed issues last year. I started so late and then I killed some. So I'm doing the Arkansas Traveler. Again, it's supposed to be very good with resistant to cracking, heat, humidity, and drought. So that's great for out here. I am going to do the blue creamberry again. Now I'm a little worried about this one because this is a very thin wall and it can split if we get tons of rain. So I need to be aware of that when it comes to harvesting. If we're going to get a ton of rain, to make sure I harvest them a little early. But these are delicious cherry tomatoes that I really like. So I'm excited to grow these. I'm going to do one plant. I put multiple seeds in there, but we'll see what happens. And the very last tomato is one I will always grow, and it is the Berries Crazy Cherry. I don't care where I am, this thing is the most productive. It's a multifloral tomato. So where a tomato plant on its vine will normally give out for cherry tomatoes like 5 to 6 or 8 cherry tomatoes, depending on how long they are, on each little cluster. This is like 20 to 30 on a cluster, and it is thin-walled, it is sweet, the acidity level is great. I love these. So once again, I'm growing 2 of this plant. This is one that I fell in love with and I will always, always, always grow. So that puts me at 4 regular sized tomatoes. Some are going to be giant ones and some are going to be more regular size. And that gives me 4 cherry tomatoes. Cherry tomatoes I'm going to get faster than whole tomatoes because they're smaller. So hopefully this will be a good combination of stuff. So the last thing I have to plant, I actually forgot I needed to start celery too. I'm a little late for this, but I'm going to go for it. The last thing I have to plant are my eggplants and my celery. So I'm going to get these in and get them done. Eggplants go 1/4 of an inch as well. I am trying, we get really bad flea beetles out here, so I don't know how this is going to work exactly. I'm going to try to plant some stuff next to them that deters flea beetles and see if that helps. I'm going to also plant these in the GreenStalk towards the bottom of the GreenStalk, so if they die, they die. But I'm going to do a Chinese string eggplant, a Rosa Bianca eggplant, and an Oswald eggplant. These are pretty big. I'm doing 1 of each of the eggplants, and then I'm going to do 3 of my pink celery and have that started. So that is what I have going on. I'm going to go ahead and quickly get this done and cleaned up and brought inside. Thank you for joining me in planting my seeds. As soon as I'm done with this, I will cover the tops of the dirt just lightly. I'm going to mark with a stick that this is the front corner that I started with, so that my paper lines up, and I'll put front corner so I know what's in here. Not today, but tomorrow this will end up on a heat mat because it has the peppers in it, tomatoes, and the eggplants, and that's going to help this That's going to help this start to germinate faster. Peppers take a few weeks sometimes to germinate. The hotter your pepper is, the longer it takes to germinate, from what I understand. So give it time. The tomatoes will be up faster than the peppers usually, and I don't know about the celery for sure. So just make sure that you're not giving up too early and letting these things have their opportunity. I bottom water in here to hopefully stop mildew. You can, if you start to get mildew or mold, you could sprinkle some cinnamon on top, and that will help with that. You don't want it to dry out where the seeds are, but you don't want them so wet that they're moldy. I'm gonna get these in and get these started. And it was so good to be back with you guys, and I will be back for another video soon. Thank you for watching and have a blessed day.